Hi everybody, this is Lisa Conway again, and this is the part 3 of the real reason you struggle with retail. So the first one, remember, we did about the promotion, and then the next 3 weeks we've done part 1, part 2, and then this is the final one. So I'm going to recap over everything and just make sure that you get it. So this is a really good one for someone to listen to if they're only going to listen to one. So I'm going to repeat myself with some of the things, but rather than listen to all 4, some of your team members might just like to listen to this one. So let's get started. So what's the real reason you struggle? Now, you know I'm pretty much a straight shooter and I like to tell it how it is, and this is no different. So I'm not going to apologise. I'm just going to let you know this is what I see from time to time. I see the same mistakes being made, and so what I wanted to do was to teach people and to see them coming. Because if you can see them coming, then you can get them out of your way. So what I wanted to do was recap on our progress. And if you can see what's coming in the future, then you can be prepared. It's kind of like knowing your lines before you go on stage. So as you know, I grew up on a farm. And one of the things that we were taught very early in the piece is keep your eye on what's going on. So if you can keep your eye on what's going on, you can kind of see and you'll be ready. So I'm not expecting you to be jumpy and nervous, but it's I can tell you an example. When we were growing up, there was this bull that we had, and he was in the top of the paddock, and Dad said, if you just know where he is and you keep an eye on him, you'll be fine. But if you think, he's fine, he's never hurt a fly, then that's when you can be in trouble, when you become a little bit too relaxed. And I think that applies in hair salons. We just become a little bit too relaxed. So keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on the bull in the corner of the paddock. That's what I'd like you to know. So if we can recap, I'm going to go over all the reasons that I've given you up until now. So I think probably one of the number one reasons is people don't know how to recommend things to people. So when they do it, it sounds false or pushy. And hairdressers and beauty therapists are actually really beautiful people, and they don't want to be pushy. That's the last thing they want to do. That would be the most offensive thing to say to someone is, you're very pushy. They wouldn't like that, right? So one of our biggest fears is that we don't want to be pushy. The trouble is we are often talking about things that have nothing to do with the reason the client came to you. Guilty as charged. I was probably a world champion at that. And what you soon realise is people will actually, they're polite, they don't say anything, but if you could do everything you do now and look after their skin needs or look after their hair needs beautifully, and it doesn't take long, right, you can still have your little chit chat about life and how to raise a children and how to get a puppy to not wee in the house, lots of things, right? But you really need to make sure that you're doing your job. And the only reason that you are being pushy is someone's making you do something you don't want to do. So if you're working in a company where they insist on a certain amount of sales and you have to get them, then that was really pushy. But if you come from the angle that I come from, is how can I help this person? What is it this person doesn't know that I can help them with? That's a whole different ball game. It's never pushy, right? Because you do it from the right place. That's what I want you to do. So for most of you, you don't even start. So you're not even pushy. You say you don't want to be pushy, but you're not anything. And that's not good. It doesn't help your business, and it certainly doesn't help your clients. And when clients have been looked after properly, they will happily give you their money. Happily give you their money. But the trouble is we don't make enough suggestions and we're not doing our job, and so they come in for one service and guess what? They go out for one service. And you and I know that there is so much more that they could be doing. The next one, which is probably, I don't know, could even be number one in my book, is that you're just way too emotional about it. You know, it's your job to recommend things. You recommend a shorter haircut. You recommend going a shade darker. You recommend going lighter. So why the hell can't you recommend that they use this product in their hair? And that's because you're way too emotional about it. You've not been trained, you don't know how to do it, and you feel uncomfortable. Well, I want you to not think like that. Think about doing your job. So it's like your game face. In order to do your job properly, you need to put on your game face. Have you ever been with someone who's been, upset or yelling or whatever, and the phone rings and they go, "Hello, how are you? How can I help you?" That's your game face. Don't be false, but just understand there's a time and a place for everything. And I honestly believe that your emotional roller coaster of a life or personality is not welcome in the salon. I can't see the value. And because when you're in a great mood, you sell everybody everything you think they need, you do your job properly, and when you're in a flat mood, guess what? You can't be bothered. They're lucky to get a cup of coffee out of you. And that is just bullshit. It really is. The client's money is of the same value every day of the week and every week of the year. So I don't know why people think it's okay to be flat when they're flat. Doesn't understand. I don't understand. To be angry and to dump all of their contents, meaning what they're going through, onto the customer. And you might think that the customers want to hear your story, and maybe some do, but it's very, very unprofessional. And what I find since I've stopped hairdressing is, and I tell people what I do for a living, I say I'm a business coach and a business mentor. And what I do is I help salon owners find their way. I teach them the business skills that they often struggle with because they've never been taught, and I show them where the money's hiding in their business so that they can have both a life and a business. And there's two things they say to me. "Oh, you have to go to my salon. The hairdresser I've got works 1,000,000 hours. She's so lovely, but she's just worn out." And the other thing they say is, "Could you teach them to talk a bit less?" I think, wow. It's really common that people tell me that. And they're up and they're down and they don't like it. Clients want the same wonderful experience and they want it every single time without the emotion. So think about it. It's really, really important. And the reason you don't sell retail is because when you don't feel like it, you don't do it. It's that simple. When you feel like it, you do it. And I know this for sure because when I was coaching, and I don't coach much anymore, but when I was coaching, we'd see our accounts every second week. So I'd see the client, motivate them, excite them, and guess what? Their retail would go up, spike, and the second week drop. Then they come to me and I'd give them an excitement boost of energy and it would spike and drop. And you could see it up, down, up, down. It's not my job. It's my job to teach you, but it's your job to get it so that I never have to teach you. And the one thing that we do boast at Zing is we will be your last coach, right? We're going to teach you how to motivate your team. And I understand that you will always have to be motivating, but if you're dragging them over the line, kicking and screaming, they are not the right people. So I don't like people who are up, down, and all over the place. Every time you see me, I'm the same person. I could be dying on the inside, but I'm exactly the same person. In fact, my mum is being buried on Thursday. Today's Tuesday, and my mum is being buried on Thursday. I can't do a damn thing about it. She's already gone. And there has been some parts of the day when I feel very sad and I just want to sit on my own and have a think. And there's other days that I feel really blessed that I've had such a wonderful, wonderful mother. But you know what? I needed to set aside 45 minutes to do this job because my mother, having passed away, has got nothing to do with you. You shouldn't have to wear that. And that's what you need to consider. I'm not telling you this because I want you to think I'm wonderful. I'm telling you this because it's just a fact of life. Okay, so whether I do this webinar or not, I still lost my mum. Okay, so I think that you are a responsibility to your clients to do your job every single time and do it with a spring in your step. And I know you can do it. Some of you are better than others, but it is something you need to learn. Another one of the challenges that we come across is that you're scared the client will say no. Who cares? Who cares? It's an option. It's a 50-50 chance, guys. And it's a bit like when someone has a baby girl and you think, "Oh my God, it's a girl. I think it was a 50-50 chance. Could have been a boy. But it's a girl. Doesn't matter. You're still surprised." And that's the same with this. It's okay. Get used to it. People are going to say no. People are going to say, "Oh, I don't think I can afford it. Oh, I haven't got the money. I actually like the crappy shit that I've got at home." They're not probably going to say it as clearly as that, but that's the truth. Some people are going to say no, but that's not an excuse for you to not do your job. If you honestly believe in what you're doing, you do it properly. That's it. Okay, so just do your job and understand that there is a percentage of people that are going to say no. Even if it's free, they're going to say no. Some people don't want what you're selling. that's it. And the reason I know that is because even if you were the best car salesman in the world, I don't want to buy a Ferrari. If I had that much money, I'd buy a different kind of car. Actually, I don't know what I'd buy, but I wouldn't buy a Ferrari. It's just not me. So you could be a fantastic salesperson and there's nothing wrong with the product, a Ferrari car. Nothing wrong with it. It sells all around the world. It's a status symbol. But I don't want one. That's it. Okay, I don't have to justify why I don't want one. I just don't want one. And there are some people that you're going to come across that don't want one. So when you ask them to change their hair colour and go shorter or darker or anything and they say no, do you get upset? No, of course you don't. It's their choice. So think the same about product sales and base and services. It's their choice. Don't worry about it. The other thing that I think that we do is we don't ask enough questions. Where we ask a question, oh, what sort of shampoo are you using? And the person might say, oh, I don't know, it's in a blue bottle. And you go, oh, I don't know that one. That's it. End of story. Why would you do that? What I'd like you to do is ask enough questions that you can find out some other things. Do you like the shampoo you got? Does it make your head itchy, or is it something that you find really good? How long have you been using it? Where did you get it from? Ask more questions because you can help people if you ask more questions. Excuse me, most people don't know what they don't know. Okay, that's that simple. And I think if you ask more questions, you'll get to the bottom. It's not that hard. You just have to be focused. There are two problems that people come in with. One, that they know they have. The problem is their hair's too long. The problem is their roots are grown out. The problem is they like to look different. That's the problem they know they have. And the other problem they have is the problem they haven't worked out yet. They don't know that their hair perhaps is dry and could be treated so that it's not dry. They don't know that if they were to use a leave-in conditioner, they'd get a much better result. They don't know that they shouldn't be putting the conditioner on their scalp, that perhaps they should be putting it on the ponytail down. They don't know it. So what you've got to do is scratch around. I say scratch around like a farmyard chook looking for a worm. And if you scratch enough, you will find something. But if you come along and go one scratch, imagine having a chook that went like I'm from a farm. So imagine letting chooks out and the chooks come back in. And I say, what are you back here for? And they go, oh, we scratch and there's no worms. Chooks will stay out until the sun goes down. They keep at it, guys. And that's what I want you to do. Keep scratching around, keep asking questions, because that's the only way. The other thing that I think we don't do very well is we don't say what they need, right? And we don't explain things. So I can remember watching this girl. She was putting a leave-in conditioner in the client's hair. She was yak, and it wasn't that long ago. She was yakking away, blah, 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 and the lady's hair was dripping down like the back of the chair because it was quite long. And she got this product and squeezed it in her hand, and then she squeezed it all over the hair, and she kept talking the whole way, so she never told the girl what she used. I wanted to smack her and take it out of her hand. So she never told the client what she used. And it continued to drip, and I'm thinking, get a towel, girlfriend. So she did. She got a towel after she put the leave-in the lady's hair. And then she got the towel, and then she squeezed it all dry. Where do you think that the leave-in ended up? On the towel. Hello? I thought, oh my gosh. And then the client would be thinking, wasn't any different really. Why would I buy that product? So what she should have been doing was saying to the client, now this is what I think you should do. Your hair's very wet at the moment, and I think if you just lightly squeeze all that extra moisture out of your hair, it's not going to dilute the product. Now this is the amount of product I'm going to put in, and I'm going to spread it on my hands first, and then I'm going to put it from your ends up. So I'm just going to squish like this. Now leave it dry so it soaks in. Don't use the towel again now, because if you use a towel, you're going to pull it off the hair and put it on the towel, and it's no good on the towel. That would be my version of explaining things. It's not that hard. The other thing that I would explain is that if you were wanting to get your hands on the best products that are out there, I think you can actually buy a shampoo and conditioner for $60 now, $60 each, but that's high end. Most of them are $34. If you wanted to buy skincare, oh my God, you wish you could buy a skincare product for $34. You can't. They start at about $60, $70, $80, $90 and $100. I've got a couple on my face. I think that they should be like in a special box. They're so expensive. Serums and things like that, $160. So compare that with hair care. Wow, it's a bargain. Okay? So it's really important that you take the time to explain things to people. Really important. They don't know. The other thing that I think you need to explain is don't get all bogged down with the ingredients. Explain what the client gets. If you were to use this every day, like in the morning, just dampen your hair down and use this every day, what you'd get is a much more manageable head of hair. That's it. Or what you'd get is hair that won't be fluffy on the top or dry like these side panels are. See how these side panels are really dry? If you were to use a leave-in conditioner, I don't know, maybe a week, 10 days, you'd find they'd just disappear and it would be as lovely as the rest of the hair. I don't know. I'm just trying to find examples for you. But that's what the client gets. All right? They don't get the bottle or the product. What they do is they get what the product does for them on their hair. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. The thing is, most of you are really knowledgeable, like really knowledgeable. The trouble is you don't share. You don't tell and you don't share. Another thing, this one drives me mental and I get all, my hackles go up on the back of my neck when this happens. When you say, oh, my clients have got everything. Really? Really? I am friends with everybody and I haven't got everything. I could always use something else. Always use something else. So that's just what they're really saying is, oh, look, I can't be bothered. I'm a bit lazy, really. Clients never have everything. Never. So, and if your team members were to say that to you, what I would say is let's print out their history. And you tell me, when did this lady last buy a shampoo, conditioner, a leave-in, a dry shampoo, a product? The list goes on. Your clients never have anything. You might get one out of all of your clients that's pretty good for everything. Really? Don't like it. I just think you're being silly. Doesn't make sense to me. The other thing that I think we do really wrong is because we don't pay cost price, most of you would be getting your products for half price. So you know, a $30 item you pay $15 for. So you think to ask the client for $30 for that shampoo and another $30 for conditioner, you think, $60, it's right up there. None of your business. Where you spend your money and where I spend mine is none of your business. What I do know is if you were to follow everybody home out of the supermarket, you go, oh my God, why are you buying that crap for? That is such a waste of money. You could be better off if you did this or you did that. Everybody chooses. I see people in the supermarket and I think, why would you buy those ready-made things in the supermarket that are full of sugar and preservatives and not my cup of tea? Because you know what? I'm happy to pay more money for, you know, organic berries and things and blah, blah, blah. I just like it. That's what I like. I want to spend the most money I can on the best products I can get my hands on. It matters to me. And yet other people are happy to just fill their kids up with pasta. I use zucchini spirals. That's what I do. Couldn't care less. Someone said the other day zucchinis are $6. I go, so I only want one. I'm not buying 4 kilos of them. And even so, a glass of wine's $15. There's not a lot of nutritional value in the wine. So it's just a matter of opinion. Don't decide where people should spend their money. Just do your job, right? By recommending what you believe they need. That's all. It's not that hard, guys. Now, this is another one that I think people don't do well. It was the beginning of me really understanding what people's needs were, and I sample. So we, with our clients that are coached by Zing, otherwise you can make an inquiry and Andrea would help you with this. We sample. So this little bottle, this little container, it's quite like you could step on it and break it, but it's really good to just put a one use in. So what I do is I put one use. The only one I put 2 in is a shampoo and a conditioner because it's a bit of a Tommy tight if you only give them the shampoo and say, you can have the conditioner next month. No, you don't do that, right? But the reason I don't want you to give, now here's an oil for the ends and here's a shampoo and here's a conditioner. Now here's a this and here's a that. The clients, that's too much. It's too much. Just give them one thing. You might just start with a heat protector. That's it. Enough for one use. That's it. And the next time they come, you give them something else. And I call it Nonna's place. If you acted like the Italians and the Greeks do, Tony's mum was Italian, she was gorgeous, and you never left her house without something. Something. Parsley, lemons, basil growing in the garden, persimmons, I think they're called. Something. She wanted you to take something home. So I want you to think like that about your clients. Every client must take something home. So they either take a product home with them or they take a sample of the product. That's it, guys. Do it. It will change your business like you wouldn't believe. It's the most powerful tool that I use. Now, some people, product companies have said to me, no, I don't like samples because I want them to buy the product. I think, you know what? What you're doing isn't working. That's why I'm here, because I'm going to take a little bit longer time. I'm going to slow it down so that your team members actually get the act of giving. Give someone your knowledge, give someone a sample, and you just see what happens. Boom. People trust you. You build a relationship with them and they will happily take your advice, providing it's good advice. It's that simple. So slow it down, do it properly. When I first started this, like 100 years ago, we didn't have these containers. I don't think I even knew how to use the internet, so I'm really telling you how far I went back now. But what we did was, in the shopping centre where I worked, there was this Fuji place, and we used to get them to click. It wasn't Fuji, it was Photo Development, and Fuji was the brand of film. There was Kodak and there was Fuji. Now, Kodak came in a black container, which I didn't like because I couldn't see in there, but Fuji came in a clear container, and we used to write on those with a permanent marker and put the sample inside there. And it worked a treat. It was really cool. It was like, this is something that I put together for you. It wasn't, oh, here's a standard generic sample. And some salons say to me, oh, no, we've got samples. And I think, okay, so you've got a sample of a men's styling product? And they go, no. I go, I told you don't have samples, right? You might have shampoo, you might have conditioner, and I'm not saying not to use them, but there is something about the way that I do it that works better. If you're not getting the results that you want, then let's do something different. Try it. Really, really works. The other thing that I think is a bit of a problem is most people that work in salons sell 8 products, and the rest of the range, another 20 products, they don't sell. They sell the same 8. You watch. Those top 8 they will sell again and again and again. And the problem with that is that's what you like. But you know what? You only have one type of hair. There's so many other types of hair. So don't be lazy, guys. Sell the whole range. And there might be a few you don't like, but I'm telling you, you need to be selling more than 8. 8 is like, really? You're just starting out. The other thing is that we don't practice our lines. So if you practiced your lines, then you'd be prepared. So when somebody comes along and says, actually, I really like my Pantene. I don't know why everyone else hates it because I love it. What are you going to say? The only way to be prepared is to practice. And that's what I mean by you have to know your lines. So I would say, you know what? That's fine, and I understand that you do like the Pantene. And the reason you do is, I'll tell you why, all right? I'm happy for you to do whatever you want. It's your hair, it's your money. But I just think this little bit of information might be really helpful to you. Pantene has what we call slip factor. So it's a silicone, and what it does is it coats your hair, and that's why it feels so good. But I think, their slogan is it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. I think that slogan is about the silicone building up on your hair. It won't build up overnight, but it will build up. And when it builds up, your hair will be quite limp, and it'll be worse down the ends, the mid-lengths and ends. So what happens it can take months in some people, it can take 6 weeks in some, but it will start to go limp. And then you'll think, what the hell? I don't know what to do. That's when you can come in and we can strip it off. It's up to you. But I really think that it feels good, it really does, but it's a bit of trickery. The other thing is they have incredible amounts of money to do these campaigns, which the other guys don't. So it's kind of a bit like, there's organic vegetables and then there's carrots that are made and mass produced. They have absolutely no flavour. You can buy a mass produced carrot and you think, what am I eating? It's crunchy, but that's it. Go and buy yourself some organic grown Dutch carrots with the ends on them. And the reason I like to buy them with the ends on, because they're fresh. That can't stay fresh, that green end. Go and eat one of those carrots and you go, oh my God, what a difference. That's the difference between Pantene and a product. It's a bit like a carrot. Okay, so it's really important. What you could do in your salon is go and buy a fresh bunch of carrots and flop them on the counter. People go, what are the carrots for? Okay, it's an explanation of Pantene. So put a tin of Pantene there and a bunch of carrots and then explain it that way. So many things that you guys know, so many things. You just have to get as mental and as passionate as I am about recommending retail. The other reason is people don't do what they're supposed to do by recommending retail is they're cooked. They've been hairdressing since 1984 and they're done. They can't be bothered. They're over people, they're over our industry. And I don't come across as many as I did when I first started coaching, but I think, get out of here. You're just doing my head in. You are, I can't do it. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. They're just, I think, get out, get out, get out of my face. They're just negative Nancy's and they're all spent, all done. The roll's empty and they've had enough. And if that's you, it won't be. But if it was you, have a good think about it. You don't have to be in this industry. You could go and do something else, you know. You really could. So these are 3 places that I want you to start over. It's about changing your conversation to get a different result. So the first one is saying, this is what I used on you today. It's very simple 101 show and tell. So every time you use something, you tell a client, that's it. This is what I used on you today. Basic show and tell. The second one is that you don't start with the haircut. Oh, how much are we cutting off? Or what are we doing today? I feel like smacking people who say that. Like, read the bloody book. It's in the appointment book. It tells you what you're doing today. Okay? But what I would say to you is, what's your biggest challenge? Since you were in here last, or the last time you've been in a salon is how long? And what's your hair been like since? What's your biggest challenge? Start with the condition and not with what you're going to do. If I had a magic wand, that sort of stuff. You know, if I could give you anything you wanted, what do you want? Just pretend. What do you want? And then you'll get to the bottom of what would be really nice. There's that many people who are running around with their hairdo because they don't know any better, because they've never ever been treated well. Really sad. They're the ones that I loved. I love those people because they were very, very loyal. All you had to do is really listen to them and help them, and they'd be very, very loyal. So that's cool. The other thing is, how does your hair feel? Like when you touch it, how does it feel? Does it feel good? Ask them. And then shut up and listen. Ask them, how does your hair feel? Really important. Another way to explain this to people, and I used to draw this on the bench. I'd just get a pad and I'd go like triangle, and I'd put each corner, I'd say, right, in the shower, what do you use? Tell me. That's how I use this. Okay, good. Don't know what it is? Take a photo, bring it in next time. Do you like it? Is it working for you? Is it good? Why do you like it? Next one. What do you use when you get out of the shower and you dry your hair? Then what do you put in there? A styling product. No, I don't mean styling product. I mean in the way of moisture. What do you use? And they say, oh, nothing. I say, oh, well, that's a shame, because you know what? The conditioner, it's got a job to do, and that's important, but it's actually not in your hair that long. It's in, it's out. The good thing about a leave-in is it stays in. So it's a product that will just continue to do. It's like rubbing cream on your skin. You don't rub it off, you put it on and it soaks in. And that's what a leave-in will do. Now there's heat protector ones, and there's ones that are just cream based that are just beautiful. And that's going to take away all that fluff and fly. And the good thing about it is you can actually decide where to put it. Whereas in the shower, the conditioner kind of gets everywhere. You can keep it off your scalp, but it really gets everywhere. Whereas when you're using a moisturizer that's a leave-in, you can just put it on the sides. If that's all you need to do, just put it there. It's amazing. You can really target it. Now, the last part of the triangle, so if you really want to nail your hair, if you want to have that, Kim Kardashian gloss, this is what you need to do. And the last one is salon strength. So there's about 4 types of salon strength. There's that instant Barocca type. The next one is like a hot towel massage, and it comes with really good moisturing properties. Then the next one is the Plex group. So there can be Olaplexes and similar versions of that. Olaplex was kind of the original. And that really changes the core structure of your hair. Really important. Different to the one that comes with a hot towel. That's kind of more on the exterior of your hair. This one's on the interior of your hair. And then you've got another one that is a choice for people who like to take the fluff and the frizz away. And that one is, like, we call that kind of the big gun. So things like Behave and stuff like that. They're really, really cool. So that's what you can do. So really important that you understand all the differences. Now, for you to get some traction with your clients, this is what I want you to do. So I've got 2 documents here. One is to keep track, and we've already gone through that. So the starting point, how many clients do you look after? How many retail products do you sell in units and in money? Also, how many colours do you do every week? What's your average dollar sale, and what's your total in hairdressing? for the week. And also the last one is basin services. How many basin services? So this is a way for you to keep score, and I'd like you to do this again and again and again. At Zing we have a little bit different one. I've tailored this one just for products, but we have one that's a little bit more extensive that our clients use. Then we've got this one, which is here and at home retail, and this is really cool because it makes you understand whether the guys are doing it. So this is a close-up here. So what you do is you write the client's name, Lisa. You don't have to write Lisa Conway as long as you know who I am. Lisa came in. Did you place the product in front of the client? Simple. Yes or no? And if you're constantly putting no, then you can see where you can help your team members with this. The next one is what's the biggest challenge? So what's your biggest challenge? Like I asked you before with your hair. The next one, did you explain how this client can use this product? Like a 5-cent piece, spread it on your hands, put it on your ends, whatever. Did you do that? Yes or no? Did you offer to take a sample home? Yes or no? It's not hard. Did you or didn't you? So if you're forgetting, I want you to set a system up. So this is going to flush out the things that they're doing well and also the things that you can help them with. It's pretty simple, really, but it's a little self-check, right? So what I do find is some people come, bring it back and they go tick, 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 tick. I think you just ticked it 2 minutes ago, really? What's going on here? But the people who really are interested in changing the way they look after their clients, what they do is you can see they're written in different pens and they put little notes of what they gave the lady and stuff like that. So they really get involved, and basically that's how everybody should live their life. Get involved, people. So the more effort you put in, the more results you get. The next one is, did you suggest that the client take the products home with you today? And I do see a lot of people doing all the work, but they don't close. And by close, I mean, would you like to take this with you? Or you could take, so this is what I've used on you today. This one, and these two here. So it's up to you. You're welcome to take them all. But if you would like to just take one, I'd start with this one. And the reason I'd start with this one is because that's what I mean by did you close. And then on the last bit, which I think is really important because you're assessing you, and it says out of 10, how did you go? And that's where you say 2 because I felt like a goose, or 10, no, I nailed it. I'm really getting the hang of it now. And then you can really see your progress. You're in charge of you guys. I'm in charge of me. And I just think everybody needs to take responsibility for what's going on. If you're not getting the results you want and you don't have the loyalty in your clients and you have days when your client book is not at full, hello, this is the reason why. You have to take ownership of everything that's happening to you. I take everything that's happening to me as my problem. You need to do the same. You also need to be accountable for your actions and responsible. So if somebody does something in your salon and they're not getting the results that you want, you know what? It's your fault. You employed them, you didn't train them, or you let them get away with it. One of the three. Okay, so I think, like a Zing coach for me, I take responsibility. If I was to have a Zing coach who wasn't doing the thing right, I would move them on. But that doesn't happen because I train them that hard. That doesn't happen because I really, really strongly believe in training. So the worst place to be is you make excuses or you're in denial. Now, there's no way you'd be watching this if you were in denial. In denial means, no, it's all good. Nobody buys product. They all get it online. Done. That's denial. But or you blame, oh, I've taught them, oh, they don't get it, blah, blah. I think, you know what, try something else. Or you make excuses, I haven't got time. Really? You haven't got time to look after your clients and you haven't got time to make good money. How's that working for you guys? Make the time. So would you like more coaching? Now, I'm offering this to everybody because I think that this has been good and you do get a taste of what's going on, but we've just, this is like half of your little pink finger if you're looking at 2 hands. That's the size of it. I love retail because it's a measure of engagement. When your clients aren't doing the retail numbers, when your team members aren't doing the retail numbers, they're not engaging the customer. And you know what? You can get that average service anywhere in any salon. Sorry, but it's true. When you have retail that's really humming out the door, I know that is a rocking salon and the clients are loyal. That's it. They just are. So would you like more coaching? Well, I'm more than happy to discuss that privately if you'd like to. That's up to you. That's your call. The good thing about Zing is we don't have to chase clients. We did in the beginning, but we don't now. They just come to us. It's really lovely, actually. And the one thing, if you did want me to chat to you about that, you have to read one of my books. If you haven't read my book, then you're not ready. So go away and read the book. And if you haven't got time to read my book, there's no way I can help you. You need to make some time. And admittedly, we will help you with that, but you still need to be in a position where you've got some time to work on your business, or guess what? It won't change. Absolutely won't change. So thank you guys. I've really enjoyed delivering these webinars, and some of you got some really good results. You've really got some good traction. So, but you know what? It doesn't happen overnight. It does not. It is like a muscle you have to keep working on. Absolutely. But you know what? If you want to do it, you can do it. Nobody was worse than me when I first started out 100 years ago. And once I got it, I was just off, and I love it. I just love retail. I think I love to purchase things, and I love to have nice things, whether it's for my skin or my hair. I just do. So I don't see why everybody else isn't entitled to that same service. So thank you very much, and I'm sure I will see you all soon. Bye for now.